She was terrified. I will never forget the look on her face when we finished talking. She could not get away from me quicker. What were we talking about? I was just telling her how we homeschool our children. Assalamu alaikum, welcome to the Raising Mums podcast. My name's Dr. Gemma Elizabeth and I'm the founder of the award-winning blog Our Muslim Homeschool. And today we're going to be talking about being realistic when we homeschool. Should we be realistic in our approach to homeschooling? Now, that story that I just told you at the beginning, it happened a few years ago. I was at the park with my kids. They were off in the playground playing, and I ran into somebody who I kind of knew. I knew her face from our community centre. She recognised me and we started talking. And before we knew it, she'd asked me where the kids went to school. So of course I told her that they are homeschooled, and her face lit up when I told her. She started telling me about how she'd been thinking about it, how she was worried about her son, how he would be bullied, how he wouldn't fit in, how the schools wouldn't meet his needs. And she was really considering home educating him. And she wanted to know how to do it. She asked me, "What do you teach?" And so I told her. Now, this was where I made a mistake because I got a bit too excited and I told her all about the Charlotte Mason philosophy, about the broad feast of ideas that we offer our children. How from the age of 6 or even younger, they're exposed to fine art, to the highest level of thinkers with living books and biographies of great men and women, how we study nature, how the children spend hours outside, how we do not separate secular and spiritual education, how we teach them to do what is right, not just what is easy. I told her about how we try to minimize how much screens we use in the home and instead expect our children to be resourceful and creative enough to create their own entertainment. I told her about how the children do chores around the house, how they volunteer, and how we spend a lot of time out in nature. I was excited. I get excited about homeschooling. Too excited. That was my mistake. Because she literally backed away from me. She could not get away from me quicker. She couldn't even make up some kind of excuse. She just ran to the other side of the playground and left as soon as she possibly could. Why? Why was she so terrified? Because in her mind, she couldn't do that. This poor woman thought that, she could not homeschool in that way. She couldn't homeschool. And that vision that I'd painted for her of what we do was not a possibility for her. It was not realistic. And many of you may have heard this before. Many will claim that the Charlotte Mason philosophy is not realistic. It is too idealistic. And so when they come across it, they push it aside for something that is more real. I want to read you a quote from this book. It's called For the Children's Sake. We're reading it in our book club. We're in Launch Your Homeschool, my online course. It's by Susan Schaefer Macaulay. If you've got the book, it's page 155. Just a short quote. Do we have to accept instead the real life of fear, failure, boredom, suppression, conformity, selfishness, laziness, pride, materialism? Do we say it is more real that children should be subjected to garbage, trivia, horror, false thinking and wrong living? Does neglect toughen up the child for adulthood? Do we give in to peer pressure which expects the false, wrong and empty behaviour which is the done thing? It's so powerful. Yes, okay, maybe right now you can't do a Charlotte Mason philosophy. You can't do it all. You can't create that vision that I just painted for you of what homeschooling could be like. But who says it has to be all or nothing? Who says that you have to do 100% or don't even try at all? You can do something. You can start. So instead of doing nothing at all, do something. If you live in a city and doing nature study every day and spending hours out of doors every day seems impossible, then once a month, just spend an afternoon out in the countryside. If your kids go to school and home education is impossible right now, then on the weekends, read from them from good literature before bed. If you can't do everything right now, then do something. We don't go from 0 to 100 in one fell swoop. It takes time. So start where you're at. Instead of thinking that the Charlotte Mason philosophy is unrealistic, think of it as a vision of what your homeschool could look like in the future, what could be possible for your family. You are playing the long game here, my friends. Education is not about ticking off boxes. It's not about passing exams. It's about shaping the hearts of our children, guiding them to love what is good and hate that which is bad, to allow them to become the best, fullest version of who they are. And that does not come from a boxed curriculum or a checklist. It comes from patient, diligent work from you over time, day in, day out, improving yourself, working harder, learning how to be a better mother, a better homeschooler. And as you learn, as you grow and evolve, your children will reap the benefits. So be unrealistic. Have a vision. Set high goals for your children. Set high goals for your homeschool. Set lofty intentions for yourself and for your children. Dream big and make dua. Jazakallah khair. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me here. Before I turn this off, before I log off, I just want to remind you that we have the Our Muslim Homeschool Summer Reading Challenge going on. And I would love to invite your children to take part. If you are looking for a gentle, easy way to keep your children learning over the summer, then I really want to encourage you to get them to sign up. Basically, to complete the challenge, your children will read one book from 18 different categories over the summer before September 1st. And as they read those books, they tick them off on a checklist that we provide. You can download that checklist at ourmuslimhomeschool.com/challenge. It's free to take part. It's suitable for any age of child. And I hope that you will join us too. So that's ourmuslimhomeschool.com/challenge. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Have a beautiful weekend. Assalamu alaikum.